Welcome. This is a quick run-through of using the crop tool in Photoshop, and I can see in this image right away, I've got some chairs here. This is a temple in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and all the blue smoke here from the fireworks, etc. But I've got a chair over here. I've got a real that I want to get out. I've got a real dark area up here which isn't adding to the image at all, and I want to crop them out. So select the crop tool right here and simply get a good idea of where you want to crop. It doesn't have to be exact because you'll have these handles here on the corners and also on the sides that you can move independently. So I would go ahead and grab this handle and get rid of that area. I would maybe come in here to get rid of that area. That might be a little bit better. I've got a grid layout right now in the crop box, but I can change that to the rule of thirds if I want. That's another little photographic technique where the most interesting part of your image usually should be in one of these cross points in your rule of thirds. However, there are a lot of exceptions to that. Nevertheless, I'll put in that grid. And then if I want to accept that change, just simply do a double click in there and I'm done. Okay, and that's number one. Let's step back one and let's try this a different way. Let's say I want to come in, I just want to really zoom in here. I want to take that. Maybe, I don't know, this is a little screwed up, but whatever, demonstration purposes only. Now if I want to rotate this crop box, I come out here, you see the cursor change to a curved double-headed arrow, and I can go ahead and rotate it that way. If I really want to fix the angle nicely of this rotation, hold down the Shift key, and that'll jump you in 15-degree increments, 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Keep it right on horizontal. Okay, so I can adjust the dimensions this way. If I hold down the Shift key and do that, it will keep the same aspect ratio, you see. It doesn't really matter where my cursor is. It's going to keep the same aspect ratio. And if I hold down the Alt key and do this, everything will expand out or in. And this one is particularly hypnotic. I could just do this for hours and hours. Okay, let's sort of come back up in there. Pretty good, we're kind of done on that. Now the area you don't want, you can control what that sort of looks like in here in the shield color. I've got it set to black, and I want a 90% opacity. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead and accept that change. So again, I double click inside the transform box, or the other thing I could do is simply hit the check mark. And if I don't like the crop that I've got and I just want to forget the whole thing, click the stop, don't enter sign. Now there's one other cool thing on this. Now number one, I'm going to go ahead and go back, hit the do not enter thing to make that go away. Now I'm going to start all over again, but the object of this crop now is, I was shooting with a wide angle lens, and you can see that there was a little distortion, a little, what do they call that, keystoning, I think, where the columns, which of course were straight, are kind of, skewed in a little bit, and I'd like to straighten that out. Let me just go ahead and drag a little box there. And then what I'm going to do to fix that nicely and easily is just check this perspective box right here. Now what I can do is move the corners independently, and I'm going to take a look at my grid lines here, and what I'm going to do is drag them in independently, try to line up the grid lines to be right on the columns, if you can see that. Kind of close, maybe not perfect, but again, for demonstration purposes only, line them up. Now do a double click in here, and they straighten up. So this, using this perspective option on your crop is really excellent in terms of straightening out things that have become a little bit skewed because, say, you were using a wide angle lens. Anything else on that? The only other thing on this is, I'm going to jump back one. And Yeah, there we go. You can also fix the aspect ratio of what you want to crop. And you can also set the resolution of that. So if you have, say, a 300 pixel per inch image, and you want to crop an image for the web, and you want to, say, make it 300 by, I don't know, 200 pixels, and you want to immediately downsize it to 72, just go ahead and do that. Eh? If I take a look at the dimensions of this image, we're looking at, it's a 300 ppi, and it's 2,000 by a little bit over 3,000. So, what would happen if I did it like a 500 by 200? Oh, the other thing I might add here is when you put these numbers in, you have to put a space between the number and the px for pixels. Let me put in 300 instead, 300 pixels, and then I'm going to put in 72 pixels per inch, although I could choose pixels per centimeter. Now when I come in here, it's just going to fix this thing, see what I'm doing? It doesn't really matter where the cursor is, it's going to fix that aspect ratio. I don't like it where it is exactly right now, and I still have my left mouse click down, so I'm going to hold down the shift bar to reposition that crop, then let it go. There's my crop, double click, and now of course the image shrank up because my original enlargement size was 11.38%. It's still 11.38%, but because the resolution of it is so much lower, it shrank up like that. Okay, real good. That's about it. And the only other trick and tip here is that you go ahead and do your crop, and then you save it and close out of your image. And then the next thing you know, you go back to your crop tool on a subsequent image, and these things will kind of pop up again. They're going to stay there. So just hit clear to start all over again. Well, that's about it on the crop tool. Good one. Have fun with that. I know it's very useful, and I use it a lot. So good. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.